Here we are on Fish Finder Day. We're going to get out on the water. We have an equal playing field that we have all 4 systems testing out. Jack, what are we going to do? How are we going to go out there and really test these systems to see how they work?
So first we're going to start off by heading out to the Marathon hump. It's an underwater sea mount, and you're going to really see a good definition going from 1,000 feet up to 500 and then dropping back down to 700. After that, we're going to hit a bunch of other targets.
Okay, well, hey, let's get out on the boats and let's see what we can find.
All right, let's go.
Okay guys, so what we're going to do today is do fish finder testing. And we have a lot in store for you because we have a lot of ground to cover. One of the things we did to keep all 4 boats on a level playing field with the Furuno TZT boat along with System A, System B, and System C is to use Airmar's TM275 LHW CHIRP transducer on all 4 boats. That way what we can do is have all 4 boats in the same area over the same wreck at the same time and all using the same transducer. So we have a complete apples to apples comparison on everything we do today. After we get done that, we have even more in store because at that point we're going to switch to structure scan and side scan, and we'll be using each manufacturer's own transducer so we can see the best of what every manufacturer has to offer and bring it to you and let you make a decision on how you think each machine looks. Since we are on 4 yellow fins and each one has its own manufacturer's equipment on it, I was able to build a custom pole mount back at my facility in Maryland. And what we have is a mount that allows any transducer actually to be mounted to the pole mount and dropped into a rod holder off the side of the boat. And that's going to allow us to have the best presentation of fish finder pictures we could hope to get. And at least for my boat, Captain Mike's going to take us out there. He's going to put us on a great wreck. All the other 3 boats are going to follow behind us, and we're going to use that pole mount and that Airmar TM275 LHW CHIRP transducer to see what we can find out there. And I know Mike's going to put us on fish. He never disappoints, so I know we got something good in store for us today.
Good. We got it dialed.
What can we expect to see when we're looking at the fish finder picture?
Well, we're out here on the hump. Something that we can expect to see coming out here. You know, if you know anything about the Marathon humps, it's known for the tuna grounds. So it's basically a mountain range down there. And so, you know, you're definitely going to see that mountain range come up as you're getting closer to it. You know, the top of this mountain sits at about 515. One side drops off to about 700. The back side drops off to about 900 to 1,000 foot. And mainly what you're going to really see out here is when you get on top of this hump at its highest point is where you're going to see a lot of tuna. There's going to be bait. You're going to see a lot of stuff in the water column. Okay, and as you go deeper off the edge of this hump, that's when you're going to start getting into your bigger stuff. You're going to start seeing a big jacks down there, almacos, big sharks, stuff like that. So that's some of the main things that you're going to see out here on the Marathon humps on these machines.
So Eric, tell me about this new TZT3.
Jack, in TZT3, the new MFD series, we basically started from scratch and said, what do our customers want? We went back and put a dual channel, frequency agile, CHIRP, full-blown CHIRP fish finder, and it's a kilowatt fish finder built right into every TZ Touch 3 MFD. So that's a start right now. It's really awesome. We're going to do some, go out to the hump today and do some, fishing, check the system out. It's going to show you just how powerful the new fish finder is that we built into these units. The transducer is a 275 Airmar, and the nice thing about TZ Touch 3 with this new fish finder chip that we built in, this kilowatt capability, is that you can basically hook up this system to just about any transducer on the market. Anything a kilowatt and below, you can attach to the TZ Touch 3 MFDs, and they're going to work perfectly for it. And that includes older, we say CW or traditional transducers, as well as the latest CHIRP technology.
That's great. So if someone has an older boat, they can actually install this new unit, and you guys have the capability of using the transducer that's currently in their boat.
Exactly. That's what we wanted.
Awesome.
We wanted the most retrofit capability as we could put into the unit, and we achieved that with TZ Touch 3.
So right now we're in our auto mode, Jack, on the TZ Touch 3 fish finder. You can see we have a dual frequency presentation. I'm showing auto mode, I'm showing auto fishing. So A and F mean auto fishing mode. We're right over the top of some awesome targets. What do you think we're looking at?
This right here, Eric, this is going to be a big school of amberjack,
All right.
and then this is going to be a school of blackfin tuna.
The nice thing is, this is in auto mode. You really don't have to do anything to get this kind of presentation on the display. We're just literally driving and drifting over the top of out here at the Marathon Hump, and you can just see just how sensitive the TZT3 fish finder is. You know, this dual channel kilowatt performance, chirp with agile frequency combination. It's just amazing. That's just an amazing picture in 400, 500 feet of water right now.
Check this out, Eric. We got a big fish coming up to us.
Oh yeah, look at that, right under the boat. Nice.
50 feet, 40 feet under the boat.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can see him.
Yeah, you might even be able to see him. Looks like a shark or something. Huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Out here, lots of sharks. And when they hear these motors, to them, that's ringing the dinner bell.
That's ringing the bell, huh?
Definitely a nice school of blackfin tuna coming through right now.
Nice. So Jack, the TZ Touch 3 MFDs have a built-in 1 kilowatt True Echo dual channel CHIRP fish finder. Really awesome. But if you're serious about fishing and you want a deep drop going for species like, swordfish, deep water, you can add the deep impact amp to any one of these systems and really go deep, target those species, see even more detail than we're seeing right now.
That's great, man. Furuno, making it easier.
So with System A, I mean, what we're going to be looking for is depth penetration. We're going to be looking for target clarity.
Sure.
And we just want to see how good we can make System A perform.
Yep.
And that way we compare it to the other 3 boats that have identical systems.
Yep, definitely.
And Mike, with your experience, how important is it to see those targets well defined on both frequencies?
It's huge because there's different styles of fishing out here. So certain styles of fishing, you want to be able to see what you're actually going to be fishing for.
Right.
When it comes to coming out here and doing some jigging, jigging's a lot of work. So you don't want to be jigging blindly and wearing yourself out on these fish. If I can be able to see these fish very clearly, it's going to let me pinpoint drop these jigs down right in the middle of those fish, and it's going to be a guaranteed hookup every single jig. So,
Right.
On System A, we have a dual channel 1 kilowatt chirp, and what we have connected is Airmar's TM275 LHW chirp transducer. So we'll be using the low side to get some depth, we'll be using the high side to get some clarity, and it's a high-wide side too, so we do get a lot of extra bottom coverage. Captain Mike, so I live up on the Chesapeake Bay. It's a very shallow bay, so I'm not used to being in 530 feet of water, but it looks like we're starting to see some pretty deep fish on the screen. Can you explain to us what we're actually looking at now?
Yeah, definitely. So we're out here on the Marathon Humps, and we're slowly getting to the back side of the hump now, so it's slowly going to start getting a little deeper. But as you can see here, we actually are marking bait coming right off the bottom.
Okay.
And then this big wad here is bait, and everything else you're seeing above that is pretty much going to be your tuna out here.
Okay.
All right, these big streams, that's big schools of fish that are running really far back. What they're doing is they're coming in and eating through this bait right here.
Okay.
And that's why you see such a big concentration above that bait ball. And that's some of your main things that you're going to really see out here on the Marathon Humps is your bait, the fish you're trying to catch, and the contour of your bottom, and that's the most important out here.
Okay.
And Mike, how does this bottom and target separation look to you?
It looks actually very good.
Okay.
I can read the ocean floor very solid.
Right.
Okay, it's not broke up, and which is actually allowing me to concentrate more on what's going on in the water column. And it's for the most part, it's not bad.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Okay.
I would like to see if we can clear up the low side a little more,
The
though.
low
We do
side,
have
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of interference
Yeah.
on the screen,
Sure.
but the high chirp does look really good.
My trip looks good.
So what we're going to do is we've passed over the top of it, and we're going to meet up with the other 3 boats, and then we're going to drift backwards with the current eastward over the top of the hump, and we're going to see what we get on the fish finder today. System B has a 2-channel 1 kilowatt CHIRP fish finder in it, and we have our 275 low high wide transducer hooked up on our rig over the side. We've got it plugged in, and we're seeing we've got the high chirp on this side and the low chirp on this side.
The low seems to be marking pretty good.
It
Marking
does.
some fish down there.
Yeah, you can see there's kind of some fish symbols in here coming up. It doesn't look like we're really picking anything up on the high chirp side. So, based on your comparisons to other systems that you've run, I think you have this unit, don't you?
Yeah, I particularly have this exact unit on another boat that I do run.
Okay.
And it works pretty good. I don't have a lot of issues with it. and either other than the issue that I've told you before, but
What issue is that?
it just kept for 4 different units we had to send back. It just had to keep flashing and rebooting, and then
Really?
it would get locked out. Yeah. So and then we finally got it figured out, and it's been working pretty good.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to what we saw earlier on the way out.
Yeah,
right?
it's exactly what it was doing earlier,
Okay.
shutting on and off, cycling through, and yeah.
So now, based on what you have in your experience, is what we're seeing on the screen, worthwhile, or is it great? What is it?
It's showing some fish, not all of fish, because the unit that I run currently on my boat is showing 10 times more fish than that's showing. So it's telling me that it is working, but not quite to what we see here.
Now, are you running it in automatic here, or are you running it in manual?
It is on automatic.
Okay, it's on automatic, so it's pretty much out of the box.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Interesting. So I mean, it seems to be.
It is marking fish. It is doing its thing, but it's a little faint. We do got to play around with it to get it dialed in. Out of the box seems to do okay, but you definitely do have to make some adjustments.
Okay. Let's try putting it in manual, and tune it in and see if you can get what you like out of this. So right now we're in manual.
We are on manual.
Okay.
And I would just play around with it to see how much more I can start pinging there.
Okay.
So I'll play around with it and see where it gets me.
It looks like you really got to have the gain up pretty high.
Pretty high, yeah. I'm at 100% here. So in between 90 and 97 seem to be working pretty good there.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of these.
See a lot, yep.
The
It might be
here,
clutter,
which we can see some of that here.
Yep.
I think some of these stronger.
We are past the hump now, so it is going to be behind it. We aren't going to mark as much fish, but you can see the bottom pretty good here on the low chirp.
Yeah.
Or on the low side.
Yeah, we're at least paying it. So this has got to be probably sand and then rock underneath.
And then you can see the rock underneath.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. That you can see the solid bottom, just like this other unit here. And it's pretty good on the manual. You can play around with it and dial it in a little better.
What we did is we took Tim's rig and we've got it going into a rod holder here. We've got a couple sea suckers holding it to the side of the boat, and we've got our 275 LHW transducer currently in the water. We've got it down pretty deep, so hopefully we're not going to get any interference. We're going to get a real nice picture out of it. We then took it and we ran it up and plugged it into System C. So we're getting ready to boot it up and see what kind of images that we'll get out of this unit. Cam, what are we looking for on the fish finder screen? Are you looking just at the bottom? Are you looking at the water column?
No, I'm looking actually top to bottom. I'm looking at the thermocline that might sit a couple hundred feet down there where a lot of our tunas will hang, that kind of thing. And look a little lower, that's where you'll get more of your bottom fish. There's a lot of groupers, snowy groupers, tilefish, that kind of thing on the bottom you can get into here too. So you can mark those things out pretty good.
Excellent. So looking at System C, on the high chirp side, we're marking, some of those tunas, Cam was talking about, just below the thermocline. We're getting a little bit weaker mark on our thermocline, but we're seeing those marks, down here at about 200 feet, right?
Yeah.
Those are your tuna?
And yeah, that's definitely the school of tuna there. You see the little
Excellent.
thermocline area that'll hit.
Yep.
They're always kind of hanging out there.
Yeah. So we're seeing some other fish on the screen. We're definitely seeing that school of tuna. Would maybe want to see a little bit bigger, darker return.
Yeah.
Is that what you're used to seeing on yours?
Yeah. Usually with the Furuno, it's just a little more bold.
Okay.
A little more. So you can say it stands out.
Yeah. But you could fish with this.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally get the job done. Not a problem at all with that thing right there.
Yeah, doing a pretty good job. On the low chirp side here, we're getting a little more interference on here. We're not able to quite mark these schools quite as clearly. We're getting a little more interference. We are seeing on the low side, it looks like we're picking up some kind of fish marks, a little bit off the bottom here. Like we said, we're trying to keep this as an even a playing field as possible, just to make sure that. I'm going to go click on my sensitivity settings, all to auto. We're still sitting here on auto. As you can see, nothing has changed on this screen. Also, we've looked at it before, but we've got our rig in the water. We're drifting. We're in clean water. You know, we're not aerating the transducer, so we're doing as best job as we can to keep an even playing field and let you make the decision as a consumer.
Well, that completes our first test with the fish finders. We took you out to the marathon hump and we started off at 500 feet of water. We took a look at the seafloor, the thermoclines, and even fish in the water column. One of the things you might have noticed is how on TZ Touch 3, the fish target showed up nice and bold and bright compared to the other systems. As we continued to drift, we showed you how each of the fish finders performed in over 1,000 feet of water, and we introduced you to Deep Impact. Deep Impact is our power booster that allows you to connect a 2 kilowatt, 3, 5, and even a 10 kilowatt transducer to TZ Touch 3, letting you get to depths that you've never reached before. On the next episode, we continue our fish finder testing as we take you into shallower water. We're going to see how each of the systems display the targets, and we're going to cover more features for each system. So make sure you join us for the next fish finder test. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and click on the bell below to get notifications for the next time we release new videos. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.